So what we can do right now is start creating these JavaScript files inside of the source folder. So as you can see, we need to name it boot.js. That's fine. Let's create a okay, okay, boot.js, like this. Okay, so now we are gonna create another one inside of the source folder, and we're gonna name it preloader.js. That's fine. Let's close this one. We're gonna have the main menu. Okay, preloader. Okay, it's not camel notation, camel case. Okay, now we're gonna have the main menu.js. okay, and then we're gonna populate these JavaScript files. So then we have the how to. Again, it's not camel notation. That's fine. Just how to.js, and finally we're just gonna have the game.js file. game.js file. So let me see, we have 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so we have this phase, we have the boot. Just make sure that you type it right. So preloader, that's fine. Here we have the main menu and the how to, and finally the game. Okay, everything is fine. Okay, so nothing is changing, obviously. Okay, so far we have a simple HTML website with some basic content in the head section, the charset, the title, the CSS styling, and the inclusion of the JavaScript files. Okay, so we already did that. So we went over the basic parts of the HTML file, and inside of that we have we went over the source folder, and inside of the source folder we have all these 6 JavaScript files that they are empty so far, but we're gonna start populating it. Okay, so the body contains initialization of the phaser framework and the definitions of the game state. So again, they're talking still about this index.html file. So inside of the body we have what they say, the body contains initialization of the phaser framework. So they're talking about this one. Yeah, so we have this constant declaration in game, and we are setting it to this keyword new, and then phaser.game. So here we are initializing the framework phaser. So phaser.game, and we're passing the width and the height, and then phaser.canvas, and then the string game. Okay, so the body contains initialization of the phaser framework and the definitions of the game state. So yeah, as you can see, this is the initialization. So the constant declaration game, we initialize it to the new phaser.game, the width, the height, the phaser.canvas, and the string. The line above will initialize the phaser instance. The arguments are the width of the canvas, the height of the canvas 480, rendering method. So we're using canvas, so we are rendering. So we're rendering method, we're using canvas, but there are also WebGL and auto options available. And the optional ID of the DOM container, we want to put the canvas in. If there is nothing specified in the last argument or the element is not found, the canvas will be added to the body tag. Okay, without the framework to add the canvas element to the page, you would have to write something like this inside of the body tag. So okay, so as you can see, this will be more tedious because you have to write the canvas element with the canvas element with ID prop attributes, setting to game, the width setting it to 320, the height to 480, and then you close the canvas. Okay, so the important thing to remember is that the framework is setting up helpful methods to speed up. Okay, so this is very important. The important thing to remember is that the framework is setting up helpful methods. So the framework is pretty much is giving us methods to speed up a lot of things like image manipulation or assets management, which would be a lot harder to do manually. That is if you would use pure JavaScript. Okay, so note, you can read the Billy Monster one's candy, so this is another record if you want, but we're not gonna focus on that right now. You can read it if you want. Okay, article for the in-depth introduction to the basic phaser specific functions and methods. So this is the page, and you can read it. So that is a link. Okay, so back to the game states. The line below is adding a new state called boot to the game. Okay, so again we are still in this basic index.html file. So we are in this line, in line 24 in my case, and we have the game.state.add, and then we're passing the string boot and then the ball.boot. Again, back to the game states. The line below is adding a new state called boot. So boot is a state, so we're adding this new state called boot to the game. The first value is the name of the state, and the second one is the object we want to assign it. The start method is starting the given state and making it active. Let's see what the states are actually. Okay, let's see what the states are actually. Now, managing game states. The states and the phaser are separate parts of the game logic. In our case, we are loading them from independent JavaScript files for better maintainability. The basic states used in these games are boot. Okay, so our boot, preloader, main menu, how to, and game. So again, the basic states used in these games are boot, preloader, main, how to, and game. And as you can see, those are the JavaScript files that we have here: boot, game, how to, main menu, phaser arcade, and preloader. The phaser arcade is pretty much how we initialize the phaser game, the framework. Okay, let me see. Boot will take care of initializing a few settings. Okay, so they're talking about the boot since we have nothing yet. Now, okay, preloader will load all the assets like graphics and audio. So let me see, preloader will grab all the audio files and the images. Okay, so that is the reason we have those folder audio, images, icons. Let me see, preloader will load all the assets like graphics and audio. Main menu is the menu with the start button, so they're talking about this one. Main menu is the menu with the start button. How to shows the how to play instructions, so they're talking about this one, how to, and this is not camel notation. Okay, and finally the game states lets you actually play the game. So this would be one of the most important things, where we're gonna type most of the code. Okay, or where it's gonna be the much of the volume of the code. So let's quickly go through the content of those states. So here we have the boot.js. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so we are gonna have the boot.js, and okay, so we have nothing yet. The boot, okay, the boot state is the first one in the game, and let's start writing some code here. So we're gonna go into the boot file, and we are gonna have this constant declaration named ball, like this. And oops, it has to be, the variable has to be, the first letter of the variable has to be an uppercase letter. Okay, we're gonna open curly braces, and we're gonna have underscore width, and we're gonna set it to 320, like that. We're gonna separate it with a comma, and then again we're gonna have the underscore height colon, and we're gonna set it to 480 with a separated with a comma. we're gonna end this statement with a semicolon. Okay, so we have the constant declaration bool, and we're using underscore in uppercase letters, so that's fine. Now we're gonna use the variable that we just created. Let me see. Yeah, obviously we need to start it with uppercase letter bool.boot, like this, bool.boot, and we're gonna set it to this function. We're gonna set it to a function, and okay, so we're gonna pass in the game inside of the parentheses, and we're gonna have an empty set of curly braces. Okay, so we have the bool.boot is being set to the function game with an empty set of curly braces. Then we're gonna have the bool.boot like this again, and we're gonna use the prototype, so it's gonna be prototype bool.boot prototype, and we are gonna set it to curly braces. And let me see, inside of the curly braces we are gonna have in the preload. Okay, so we're gonna open parentheses, we're gonna open curly braces again, and we're gonna have this keyword this that load that image, like this. Well, image, the whole word, image, and just to make sure that image like this. Okay, so we have this that load that image, and we're gonna open parentheses, and we're gonna have in the preloader, so it's gonna be the preloader uppercase V and then lowercase g. We're gonna separate it with a comma, and then it's gonna be from the image folder slice, and it's gonna be the loading image folder. So if it's from the image folder, it's gonna be the loading bar or the loading -bg that png. Let me see which one is gonna be. It's gonna be the, okay, it's gonna be the bg, so it's gonna be the loading, okay, loading -bg okay, bg.png. Okay, so we have this that load image preloader bg, then we have the image is, okay, we have the loading -bg.png. okay, that's fine, separated with a semicolon. Okay, so we're gonna have pretty much the same thing. I just can copy and paste it here, and this one is gonna be loading bar, like this. Okay, so we have that up to this point. Nothing is changing, obviously. Let me see what else do we have here. So this is that load that image. Okay, so we're gonna put a comma to this preload function. We're gonna move downwards, and we're gonna have the create function. So create function, we're gonna do something similar. We're gonna open curly braces, and inside of the curly braces we're gonna have this keyword this that add this that gain that scale that is scale camel notation in this case, and we are gonna set it to the phaser. Okay, it has to be, well, phaser is with, the first one is with the uppercase letter P. Phaser that is scale manager like that show underscore all, semicolon at the end. And okay, so we're gonna do pretty much this that game that instead. Okay, so we're still gonna have a scale, but instead of a scale mode, we're gonna have page aligned horizontally. So it's gonna be page aligned horizontally. Let me see if I write it right. Page aligned horizontally. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna set it to this boolean true. Okay, let's copy this one and let's paste it right below, and this one is gonna be page align vertically. Okay, it's gonna be here vertically, and okay, we're gonna set it to true, and finally we are gonna have in the this that game that scale gain that gain. Okay, there's that gain that scale, and we are gonna use the that start. Okay, and inside of the parentheses we're gonna pass in the preloader like that. And let me see, let's close this one. So this is the preloader that we're gonna pass in, and we're gonna close this one with a semicolon at the end. So this is pretty much what we have so far. Let me see, we can put a comma at the end of the create function and a semicolon at the end of the curly braces of the bold.boot prototype, so we can save it. And well, right now not much has changed, it has just moved to the middle, and yeah, but we are gonna still keep working on it. Let me just double check. So yeah, because everything has to be written right, so we have this constant declaration name bold, and the first one has to be uppercase letter. We open curly braces, we have the width 320, the height 480, we ended up with a semicolon. Then we have the variable bold.boot, we are setting it to the function, we're passing game. We have the curly braces, okay, empty set of curly braces. Then we have the bold.boot okay, the bold.boot prototype, okay, that's fine. We open curly braces and we have the preload function. Okay, so we open curly braces and we have this load that image, and we're passing the preloader bg. B has to be a uppercase letter, G lowercase, and as a second parameter we have the image /loading -bg that png. That's fine. Then we have the same thing, there's that load that image preloader bg, okay, preloader bar. So this one is wrong, so see, okay, I caught it in time. So we have the preloader bar, then we have the image loading -bar.png. okay, then we have the create function, and this create function is going to be the game scale, that scale mode, okay, camel notation, and we're going to set it to the phaser that is scale manager that show all. Okay, then we have this that game scale that page align. Okay, let me see, horizontally set it to true, and this that game that scale page align vertically and set it to true as well. Finally, the test game that state that start, and then we're passing the preloader, and make sure you put uppercase letter P. Okay, so let me see, so this is pretty much what we have, nothing yet, but the main bold object is defined, and we're adding two variables called _width and _height, and as you can see with uppercase letters, that are the width and height of the game canvas. They will help us position the elements on the screen. We are loading two images first that will be used later on the preloaded state to show the progress of loading all the other assets. The create functions hold some basic configuration. We are setting up the scaling and alignment of the canvas and moving on to the preloaded state when everything is ready. So this is pretty much all that we have for the boot.js JavaScript file, so we're gonna continue in the next video.